I know, what haircut did you want to do? All right, cool. And you're cool with that shorter kind of length on top? And you want the fade to be just as high?
Yep.
All right, cool. So guys, we're gonna be going over a short crop with like a higher kind of medium fade tutorial. So let's get straight into it. First thing that we're gonna do is actually go ahead and start to blend all of this hair together. But before we do that, we need to prepare our canvas. So we gotta do that. You can see he has a lot of hair, right? His hair is super grown out. So what we're going to do is simply go ahead and just section the top from the sides, and starting with his hair wet is gonna be the easiest way to go ahead and do that. So we're gonna find that swirl in the back of his head and just go ahead and get all of that situated right there. Comb all this forward and go all the way to the front, just where his recession point is. Boom, boom, boom. And start to get that out all the way through. I just like to comb through. I just feel like it gives me like those really, really nice comb lines. And now, since we're gonna be doing a skin fade, we gotta make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success. So I'm gonna put my fingers on the side of his head right here, kind of like more towards this top part. And just from there, we're gonna start to set in that base for our fade. Now, since we're doing a little bit of a higher fade, I gotta really make sure my fingers are high enough on the sides, because I'm not gonna be dropping it down. I want it to go straight into almost the hairline. I'm gonna keep it a little bit higher right here. Use that fine T side on my comb. I just feel like I get way better tension with that side. And we're gonna start setting in this base. Now, I wanna show you guys that this hair cutting system is gonna work with any hair texture, you know, black hair, straight hair, or freaking whatever hair, any curl type, any type of cultural background, however you guys wanna break down your clients, you know, go ahead, it's all gonna work. It doesn't matter. It's one hair cutting system. Now, this hair cutting system is inspired by DFS, right? This isn't DFS, but it's definitely inspired by DFS. So if you guys really want the full breakdown, you guys gotta go ahead and learn that stuff. I'm just here to give you guys some gems on how I kind of go about executing these type of haircuts. So I'm just going around his head, and I'm just trying to keep, you know, some weight in the back, just so nothing sticks up too crazy. But I'm trying to go as high and as tight as possible. Now, the reason why we're doing this haircut is because you guys requested this haircut, and you guys requested this model. Like, you guys didn't just request the haircut, but you guys requested the model. So whatever type of request you guys want, go ahead and just throw that in the comment section, and I'm gonna find them, and we're gonna do these haircut tutorials just to help you guys learn to, you know, not be scared of these type of haircuts. As long as you have a good system, you're gonna be okay. So you can see I did a pretty high weight line on the top. Now we're gonna go through and just make sure it's all even. I feel like I gotta bring it a little bit higher over here. Do the same thing all the way straight through here. And then I'll go and start to comb everything forward. But before we actually go into starting to cut the top, I wanna show you guys the fade system that I'm gonna use for this. Is really only using 2 guards. So let me go ahead and show you guys. So you can see my number 3 right here, go straight onto my clipper. And now I'm just gonna use that 3 straight into that weight line. Now, this is the same fade system that I use in the shop all day, every single day, guys. And you can see how easily that 3 is going into that weight line. And that's the whole point, is that you don't have to do a bunch of clipper over comb for this to work. You don't have to do a bunch of blending shears. Now, you can still use those things. There's nothing wrong with using them. You know, sometimes people might set in that first line with clipper over comb instead of scissors, and you know, you could definitely still do that. But it's showing you how easy it is that with scissors, or with doing it like this, how you can just blend straight into that. Now, the second guard that I use is I use a 1.5 guard. So my 1.5 guard is gonna go straight into that 3 that I just did at the beginning. And remember, we have to take all of these to make sure we're really high enough, because we're going for more of a higher skinish fade, right? So I'm making sure to go right over that C-cup area so we can lighten that up. I'm just gonna go straight all the way through. Especially on this hair texture, guys, right? Like this type of like more kind of pin straight sometimes, like Asian hair texture. Sometimes you might have to use some clipper over comb just because it sticks out so straight that it might stick out further than, you know, the actual shape, if that makes sense. The shape of the haircut that you guys want to create. It's not just about how blurry your fade is, and it's not just about, you know, how long the hair is, but it's about the shape that you're creating, the silhouette that the client is gonna see in the mirror. So you guys want to pay attention to that, because like here, the fade might look good, but if I come to the side and I see a bunch of hair sticking out, I want to be able to get that. Now, right under that 1.5 open, I'm going to do the 1.5 close. The 1.5 close, go right under that 1.5 open, right here. And we're just going to blend all of this in, trying to go as close as possible. So yes, this is down fading. And the way you do this is just by looking at those metal teeth on the clipper. When you look at those metal teeth on the clipper, it's gonna help you place that guard right where you need to. if you're looking at the green teeth, you know, or the plastic teeth of the guard, you're never gonna take your fade up high enough. Now, I could fade the rest of this, but like his skin is a little bit like damp from the water that I kind of sprayed on it. So let's just go in and cut the top. I'm gonna go ahead and start to saturate the top of his head. Now remember, his bangs are gonna be pretty short right here. It's gonna be like right over his hairline. So let's go ahead and start to set that in. Now I'm purposely gonna go and just start to point cut straight into them. Comb down, see where they're laying. And you really wanna set these as perfectly as possible. Now if you wanna do a section like this and go one at a time, you could. Like there's nothing wrong with going like this and then grabbing a section and then point cutting into it like this. You could do that as well. But the biggest thing is that they're going to be textured. They're going to be messy. And then you could use that guide to go ahead and cut them again. This is a popular way that some people go and cut bangs. They just keep on sectioning off and you see that overhang. You cut the overhang. You could do that, or you can literally just go and just cut them just straight like that. You just wanna make sure that they're going to blend straight into the bangs, or not the bangs, but that weight line that you have on the side. So what I'm gonna do, comb all this down and just connect all of this with my fingers. I'm keeping my fingers really, really tight to the side of his head. Only cutting to that line in my fingers. And then over here, same thing. So now you can see that line is gonna blend straight into his bangs right here. So now I know that my fade and my blend is gonna be on the same page. It's not like one's gonna be super high and one's gonna be super low. You want this to all kind of, you know, blend together, if that makes sense. Go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and trim all of this and then start to do just the same thing on this side. Let me go right here and same thing. Start to follow this across. And now we can just connect everything over here. Now you can see, look, I have nice even bangs in the front and it all blends into the fade super nicely. So let's go into cutting the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop the chair. And cutting the top, since it's more of a messier cut, you gotta go ahead, pick the hair up, check out that section from here, and then just start to texture cut this like a madman. Go ahead and trim all of that. I'm just gonna keep on trimming this. Just taking away all of that extra length that I don't need. Same thing, pick up a section, comb all this extra length off, and we're just gonna keep on going all the way through. We're gonna go all the way through, and I'm gonna show you guys how I actually go into cutting just more of the front, where like we're really getting close into the bangs, because for me personally, I used to mess up the bangs a lot until I started doing this. I feel like I actually did a lot better on the bangs when it came to cutting people. So what I'll do is actually come over to the side and I take the sections, like almost like vertical sections, but I'm standing to the side. And when I pick the hair up, I can see the bangs that I've already cut and I can see my long hair on top. And I just go ahead and I just layer it just like that. This helps me to not mess up the length of the bangs, because I know I'm not gonna cut into there, while going ahead and getting into all of this. Go ahead and trim all that, pick up this hair, and just take off all that extra heaviness and length. So now you can see I have this kind of messy texture, but I also have these lighter bangs right here as well. And I always check this area right here. I try to keep it a little bit longer in the back just because I don't want it to, you know, stick up too much. So for these kind of areas on the outside of the haircut, like the back and the front, I usually like to vertically cut those. Just I feel like it helps me to keep my length a little bit more in line. So now you can see I set myself up for like a great fade where I have all of this nice kind of shortness up here, my nice textured bangs, but I also know that my fade is gonna go straight into my bangs and it's gonna blend in and connect. Now we're gonna get straight into fading out my client right here. Guys, first of all, look at the shape, look at the flow. When you have a system like this, and don't get me wrong, we still have to edit it. We do have to do some clipper over comb just for his, you know, his hair texture. But like, guys, look at this. Like, this is so clean. So instead of doing all the steps around the side of the head, I'm gonna go ahead and just show you guys just this side of the fade so you guys can see everything in more real time. I put in my skin line with my softer trimmer, and now I'm gonna go ahead and skin this out with a foil shaver. This is just gonna give that extra pop to the fade. Go ahead and blend all that out. And then I'll go ahead, open up my lever on my clipper, and get this first panel down. This is just showing you guys more real time what this looks like. Now, after this first panel is completely good and passed, now I can start blending out, because remember, I did the 1.5 closed right here. So now I'm gonna go ahead, put on my half guard, start all the way open, and I'm gonna blend straight into that 1.5 close that I did before. Just keeping my clipper a little bit looser, using my corners a lot, and just blending into that panel up there above. If I see any dark spots, I start to blend it out. Now I'm gonna go halfway. I'm gonna go a little bit lower than what I did before, but I'm just continuing to blend. And now I'm gonna go all the way closed, blends out even more. And really I'm looking for any dark spots, but you can see that that kind of line before is majority blended out. Now we can go ahead and blend out this bottom line. I'm gonna start all the way closed, go like halfway up, and then just go notch by notch by notch until we're absolutely blended. The reason why I like to fade out like this is because as soon as I'm all the way open, I can literally just start detailing my blend. I'm gonna go ahead and blend all this out right here. So you can see that as soon as this panel is blended out, I can go clipper open with no guard and just start to corner into any of those dark spots that I see. Even down here, like if I see that there's a line down here at the bottom, take my trimmer and use that to just blend out any corners. Just when you're doing this, guys, make sure you're using the corner of the clipper. Starts to blend all this out. And you can see that right here, this fade is a little bit lighter here, a little bit darker here. So I'm just already like bookmarking that in my brain. So when I start to detail, I can start to work this out. So what I'll do is when I grab my clipper over comb, I'll go ahead and pull this out and just start to grab that hair. I'm just wedging my clipper out. I'm just blending up right there with it. I'm just trying to lighten it up a little bit. So I'm detailing, but also I'm fixing the shape of the haircut so that he has like a stronger like silhouette, if that makes sense. So what I'll do is I'll turn my client to the side and I'll look right here to see if there's anything that's kind of like sticking out. And if there is, then I'll go ahead and I could just grab that. You know, you want to look at your haircut from multiple angles, not just one angle. So now that I have a way better shape here, so that's how you're looking. You're looking at, okay, how does my blend look from here? And then how does my shape look from here? Now let me go ahead and do the other side and I can show you guys the final result. Now when it comes to cutting these bangs, this is how they look when they're dry, but you're gonna go in and just start to piece at these. So I'm just using a purposely duller like scissor. I'm just cutting kind of like vertically into this. This is just gonna help to break it up a little bit. Take off a little bit of length, but I like to do a lot of this stuff when the hair is dry, because I can really see like what I'm cutting versus if I think it looks perfect wet, I'm gonna go ahead and dry it. I don't know if I'm gonna really be in a good spot or not. But you can see how nicely this ties into the fade on both sides. And that's really what I want you guys to see, is how we tie that into a shorter haircut. Like if you wanted a longer crop, we could, but even with a shorter crop, something like this, you guys can still see it's all gonna come together. Now remember, with these hairlines, you want it to be even, but you don't want it to be like straight across. Like it has to be a little bit like inconsistent. So you're trying to keep the length, right? You don't wanna take it shorter, but you wanna lighten it up. So you could pick this up and you're just piecing it. And I'm purposely using like a pair of like not too sharp scissors. And I could even use a razor, and I'm gonna show you how to do that now. So now I have a straight razor, and this is just gonna help to give me more of a feathery look on top. So I have a brand new straight razor. I'm just gonna go through, comb through, and just take off a bit of that top layer. The comb is helping me to keep tension on the hair. And this is just going to help me out a lot. You could use a feather razor, you know, as well, but just make sure to have your razor at an angle. If you have it too like this, you're really gonna take off length. You're really just trying to skim off like a top layer of hair and comb through it. But I'm being very, very light-handed, not using too much pressure. Don't go too crazy on this, because you will put like a gap in somebody's hair, and that's not what you want. A little bit of movement in here. If you haven't done this before, I would definitely use a safety razor first. But now you can see just a little bit more messy and a little bit more piecey and textured. Another thing, you can always come to the side, pick this hair up, and just point cut into here, just like this. I just prefer to do a lot of my texturing when the hair is dry. But you guys can see the texture that we're getting. We have really, really, really full corners, a nice clean fade. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw some product in here, and now we can really show you guys the final result. Bro, look how fire this haircut just came out. Messy crop on top, nice, solid, but textured hairline. Look at the shape, look at the texture. Short crop. A lot of crops get a lot longer. This is like a short crop. You can see how the fade goes straight into the hairline. I'm gonna show you all the bangs here in a second. Guys, there's more tutorials like this for you guys to watch in that free school community that I keep on harping to you guys about. Business tutorials help you guys build your clientele, but even on top of that, just tutorials like this to get you better at scissor cutting. If there's anything that you guys wanna know, you just gotta let me know in the comment section below, and I'll be able to actually go ahead and teach you guys really whatever it is. Just go ahead and let me know, but I want you guys to look at the shape that we kept, look at the fade, how it goes straight into the bangs, the messy texture that we have on top. Guys, I'll see you guys on the next video. Anything specifically that you guys want to see, just go ahead and drop it in that comment section below, whether it's a certain haircut, certain technique or whatever. Just go ahead and guys, and let me know in the comment section below. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, peace.